Hello, sixth graders. I miss you guys. I wanted you to think about choosing kind today, share a smile with someone, offer to help them do something. That would be great. I was busy this weekend trying to finish up my chicken coop. I'm getting really close now. Just a couple more things to do. And it's a good thing because my chicks are arriving the first week of May, so that's just a couple weeks away. So I need to get busy and finish that up. I wanted to let you know that if you have internet access, I will be sending a link to Pearson so that you can read the weekly stories with us. This week's story happens to be about inventors. It's called Inventing the Future. It's a really interesting story. And you could also take your weekly tests on the computer rather than on paper. Let me know how that works out. On Wednesday, I'm excited to say that we are going to be having a Zoom class meeting with all your teachers and classmates. So be looking for an email about that. If you don't have internet access, you can also join by phone. So we look forward to hearing from you or seeing you no matter what. So that'd be great. So be looking for that in the mail or in your email. I want to read another story for you this week. It's called Inventing the Stethoscope. And I want you to listen for these four amazing words. Repeat them after me. Contemplated, unhealthy, invaluable, and diseases. We'll learn about an invention of a medical instrument called the stethoscope. Inventing the Stethoscope by Edward F. Dolan. In 1816, in Paris, France, Dr. René Laennec was frustrated as he contemplated a way to help a patient who he knew was suffering from heart trouble. If only he could hear her heart. As he walked toward the hospital, his hands were locked behind his back. His mind was still struggling for an answer of how to hear the woman's heart. Laennec's path took him through a garden. All about were sounds, clatter of horses on the street, the talking of people, the laughter of children. Slowly that laughter broke through Laennec's thoughts. He looked up to see a group of children gathered around a long board on the grass. He smiled at the sight of them. All but one, a young boy, were gathered about one end of the board. They were kneeling with their heads lowered right down to the wood. At the other end, the boy was kneeling beside the board, tapping it with a stick. The children laughed with delight at the sounds which met their ears. The sounds traveled down the board from the boy's stick. They were loud, much louder than if they were heard while the boys were standing. Suddenly, the distant smile faded from Dr. Laennec's face. A look of sharp thought replaced it. He slapped his hands together. He knew what every school child in France knew, that sound moves through something solid better than through the air. Why hadn't he thought of that before, he wondered. It was so simple. Here, after the long and restless night, was the answer to his problem. Dr. Laennec hurried to the hospital. He went right away to his office, where he took a sheet of stiff paper from his desk. He rolled the paper into a tube and put a band around it. Then, in an instant, he was standing beside his patient's bed. He placed one end of the tube against her chest. He placed his ear against the other. He listened for just a few seconds. Then a smile broke over his narrow face. He could hear her unhealthy heart beating. He could hear it better than he had ever heard any patient's heart in all his life. Able to hear the heartbeat, Dr. Laennec could tell what was wrong with his patient, and he knew that he had found an invaluable tool for medicine. Laennec's new tool made him one of the leading doctors in his time for diseases of the chest. All during his life, Laennec worked on making the stethoscope better and better. His final model was made of wood and looked different than those used today. However, It worked in the same way stethoscopes do now. I hope you enjoyed our story and heard those amazing words. I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday, and I hope you have a great week. Goodbye for now, Mr. Conger.